Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn, where armed carjackers stole a gray BMW sedan. It's one of several incidents of armed carjacking in the city.
Here we go again, another crime pattern here in this city. Now, it was just on Monday, 2 days ago, that I was reporting on 2 suspects who were snatching necklaces off of people, and they ended up dragging a 12-year-old little girl. Now today, another crime pattern, carjackings. The very latest one happening where we are right now. And go ahead and take a look at this video here, because the NYPD releasing this surveillance video. This happened at Atlantic Avenue and Hendrick Street in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn. Now, the NYPD releasing this video showing a black car rear-ending a gray BMW. Now, when the driver gets out, he is confronted by several men who have a gun. This was at 12:30 in the afternoon. This has also happened 3 other times as well, in East New York, Brooklyn, in St. Albans, Queens, and in Flushing, Queens. Now, this is old school here. The carjackers, they intentionally hit your car so that you have to get out, and then they steal your car. Now, in 2 of these incidents, they actually kicked and punched the victims. One of the victims is a 67-year-old man.
That's crazy. I lived in this neighborhood my whole life, like 35 years. Never heard of that. I mean, somebody bumped me the other day, but I didn't stop, you know what I mean? It was nighttime, so I just kept going.
I wouldn't be so stupid to get out there. You know, I'm telling you, I wouldn't get out.
You just keep going.
I just keep going.
It's unfortunate, especially in this area. I actually grew up around here, and it wasn't like this.
Speechless. I mean, in New York, out here in Brooklyn, I haven't heard about that in a while, so I'm kind of just speechless.
But that's not right, you know. That's not still nobody got. That's not right. So.
If somebody bumps into the back of your car, are you going to get out of your car, or are you going to keep going?
No, I have to stop the car, and then I call the police.
And once again tonight, police are also asking if anybody recognizes these suspects, you know anything at all about these carjackings, pick up the phone, give them a call at Crime Stoppers. It can be anonymous. And that number, and we should all pretty much have it memorized by now, is 1-800-577-TIPS.
We now go to Elmhurst, Queens, where a 12-year-old girl walking home from school was grabbed and dragged down a street by robbers on a motorbike.
It is hard to believe, hard to fathom that somebody would drag a 12-year-old little girl, but that's exactly what happened. In some of these robberies here over the past 3 weeks, some of them have been very violent. In fact, one woman was punched in the face. The video is horrifying. 2 men on a motor scooter approach a 12-year-old girl from behind, grab her necklace, and then drag her down the sidewalk.
They're just the worst human beings alive.
Julie Valeria says she was walking home from school about 4:30 in the afternoon on Layton Street in Elmhurst, Queens, when the men suddenly attacked her.
It happened fast, so when I didn't feel when I was getting dragged. I only cared about the necklace. So I didn't know what to do or how to react.
Her mother showing a long red mark on her daughter's neck from the suspects yanking off the necklace.
And it's scary to go out in the streets most of the time, but other than that, kids should be safe.
Police say the 2 men have struck at least 7 times in 3 weeks in Elmhurst, Corona, and Jackson Heights, Queens. 4 of those robberies happening on the same day. In addition to Julie, the victims include 1 man and several women, ranging in age from 35 to 70. In one case, they punched a woman in the face.
You're scared. You don't know what's going to happen next.
Some residents we spoke with say crime is increasing in the neighborhood.
My friend, they got somebody put the knife, get the ad track over there.
Someone held a knife to your friend's chest?
Yeah, chest.
Now tonight, police are asking for the public's help in identifying those 2 suspects on that red scooter. All you have to do is call Crime Stoppers. It can be anonymous. You do not have to give any information about yourself. You can just call that number and give police whatever information you have on the suspects. And that number is 1-800-577-TIPS.
In Brownsville, Brooklyn, 2 rival street gangs involved in a series of murders and shootings have been busted, according to authorities.
District Attorney Eric Gonzalez and the NYPD say the streets of Brooklyn are safer with the arrests of more than 24 gang members. They allegedly terrorized the residents of 10 NYCHA developments in Brownsville with broad daylight shootings and 2 murders. At least 30 weapons were recovered by the NYPD's Gun Violence Suppression Division during the Brooklyn DA's 2-year investigation into a deadly and dangerous gang rivalry. One gang is called the Woo. Their opponents, or ops, are called the Cho. They lived in close proximity to each other in Brownsville and used social media and drill music videos to threaten each other and escalate their rivalry. The 32 suspects are charged in 4 indictments with a total of 104 counts, ranging from murder conspiracy to weapons possession.
The case covers a total of 27 incidents, including 2 homicides and 17 additional non-fatal shootings.
We have taken these criminals off our streets, and together we will endeavor to keep them off.
Their arrests highlight the NYPD's precision policing approach, going after the most violent repeat offenders, says Deputy Chief Jason Savino.
32 subjects in this investigation. 30 of them have either been arrested for a shooting or allegedly charged with a shooting with this new indictment. So on at least one occasion, and we have many others with more than one. Why do I mention this? These are the trigger pullers. DA
Gonzalez showed videos of the suspects running through the streets in broad daylight, opening fire no matter who was nearby. In one shooting, a 3-year-old girl was wounded. Police say it's the most recklessness they've ever seen.
These gangs would shoot at the oppositions in vicinity of high schools, daycare centers, MTA buses, and densely and highly populated areas. No regard for anybody in the area.
If found guilty, those arrested are looking at a minimum of 15 years behind bars, with many looking at anywhere from 25 years to life.
Over in Hell's Kitchen, there's concern that gay men are being targeted for robbery and assaults by an organized gang.
There have been at least 2 cases where men were killed and their bank accounts emptied. Linda Clary is the mother of 33-year-old John Umberger. He was last seen leaving a popular gay nightclub on Memorial Day weekend.
Every last person has been gay, and they're focused on gay bars, and the singling out factor is they all find themselves isolated at any given moment.
Several cases may be involved here. The NYPD says it is investigating at least 14 incidents where individuals have been victims of either robbery or assault. Police say some of those victims are members of the LGBTQ+ community, but not all of them, and that the motivation in all of these cases appears to be for monetary purposes.
Down in Borough Park, Brooklyn, a woman operating an Amazon delivery truck was caught on surveillance video stealing packages already at a location from previous deliveries. The NYPD says it happened on Saturday, October 29th around 3:10 p.m. The woman was seen on a surveillance video getting out of the truck to deliver packages to a home in the area of 58th Street and 13th Avenue in Borough Park. According to the NYPD, she was seen removing packages that were already at the home and loading them into the truck. The NYPD says the woman also opened and removed items from the packages that were being delivered to the home. She then drove off. The suspect is described as having a light complexion, around 30 years old, about 5 foot 7 inches tall and 155 pounds. She was last seen wearing an Amazon vest, an orange hooded sweatshirt, and orange sneakers. Anyone with information is asked to call the NYPD's Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS. And finally, we end in Midtown Manhattan, where 3 people were robbed of an estimated $72,000 in jewelry and watches by 2 armed men dressed in all black outside a jewelry store.
It happened just before 8 o'clock last night. Now, according to investigators, 2 men and a woman were robbed outside Avis Jewelry on 47th Street. Police say the suspects took an estimated $72,000 in jewelry and watches. The men ran away from the area. They got off in a white Jeep Cherokee.
That's this week's Crime in the City.